live because I really don't want to spend too much time on this. People have known that I have been a avid Simplify 3D supporter for many years. We've been using in-house for many years. The issue is that their new one is very buggy and, in my opinion, shouldn't be used. Now, I did contact them and reported the problems, and they did ask for details, so this video is also going to get sent to them to show them details. But as it stands right now, I don't think you guys should buy version 5 or upgrade to it, and we're going to be requesting a refund. Me personally, I'm going to be staying with version 4, and if I want more or different feature slicers, or slicer features, I should say, I'm probably going to look at something else like Super Slicer, because at this point I can't justify it. The number one thing that really pisses me off is when you bought Simplify 3D in the past, you know, like myself, like I'm sure many of the people that are watching this video, many of the people in the maker community, we all have more than one computer. So if I would buy a Simplify 3D license, I could have it installed on my desktop and activated, and I could have it on my laptop installed and activated. Now, if you want to have multiple installs, even if you have multiple computers in your house, on your property, whatever, you now have to buy a license for each computer instead of being able to just sign in. You know, I think that's ridiculous. You guys had that before. I mean, hell, even Microsoft with their Office 365 system, or whatever the hell they call it, they keep changing it, you know, for their Office applications that you can install on your computer, they give you 5 activations. The fact that you're taking this away really pisses me off, especially since the price is now $50 more. So for $150, you used to get 2 activations. I had 4 licenses of them, and I had 8 activations, and all those computers with that installed were here on my property, in my house and in my outbuilding. So that's one big thing that really irks me. Now, with open source software, it's free. We don't have to worry about licensing. I have had issues in the past where their license server has gone down and we couldn't use the slicer. Literally, in order to use a slicer, I had to slice files and send them to my guys and wait for their activation servers to come back online. So in the past, their support has been very poor. So when I reported to them, I said, the one issue was when selecting different processes. So in Simplify 3D, you have a process, and the process can be the same printer, or it can be different printers, or you could have multiple processes for the same printer but different settings. So like, for example, if I have a process for my Ender 3, I have one for the 0.2 layer height and I have one for the 0.3 layer height, and I can keep those settings separate. So all I have to do is double click the process, hit OK, and boom, now it's selected. That would not properly apply the bed settings in the preview, and I have V4 and V5 open on my computer right here. So we're going to go in and show the issues here. So this, I'm going to pin this to the taskbar. This one should already be there. So I'm going to close these out, and we have a benchy load in each one, and they're both from the same factory file. So I'm going to open up V4 so you guys see how V4 opens. So there's V4, and I'm going to open up V5 here, and you can see V5 takes a little bit longer to load up. And one, it selects all these processes here by default, which is odd. You can see V4, or I should say V5 selects all the processes. V4 just has the last one. So this is the biggest issue, and this is what I would call a absolute major bug that breaks usage of the software. So I have a benchy here. By default, it loads up with my Ziltech gear profile, which is a 300 by 300 by 400, which is also, I think, what is here. But if you look here, actually, I don't even think that is what's here, because if you look at the preview box, the height is actually not even the same. So that's interesting. I just noticed that. So you have your Z height here. It's not even the same. So it's like a 300 by 300 by 300. So in V4, let's say I'm going to go slice for my Ender 2 Pro. I can double click the Ender 2 Pro process, hit OK, and it resizes the bed, okay? So I can reset my view, do a Control R, center, and rearrange. That's the behavior that should happen. That's how it's worked for years. Now, let's say I want to go here on my V5 and select Ender 2 Pro. Hit OK. Nothing happens. So here's what happens. So if I actually go to slices, we run into yet another annoying issue where it automatically selects all of the profiles. So I have to now, again, hit select none, because I can't just click one and select just that one. I have to hit select none, scroll through the list, hit Ender 2 Pro, hit OK, and then it slices it. So I'm going to save this file, and I'm going to put this on the desktop. And this is one I recorded earlier, but I'm just going to save this here as Benchy V5 E2 Pro. So I'm going to hit save that. I don't know why it's telling me that. The file already exists. We'll just overwrite it again. And then I'm going to preview it in version 4. So if I preview this in version 4, so here's that. You can see here, saved at 8:56 p.m. Look at where it puts it. So this is not going to print correctly. So this is the G-code that generated using the Ender 2 Pro profile in V5. And it's completely incorrect. This is not going to print. This is going to completely fail. It's going to run the head over to the side and just goop up here because the head's not going to be able to move outside the bounds of the bed. So that's the main thing that's just, it doesn't work. Versus if I slice here for the Ender 2 Pro, and then save. So I'll rename this. I'll change this to a V4. And then I go and preview the code. So I go and preview G-code file. Here's the V4 sliced file. Okay. And then here's the V5 slice file. Completely wrong. So that right there is enough for me to stop using it. Now, to make matters even worse, the new features they advertise, like the multiple settings, the variable Z height settings. So these do not work at all. These crash. So this has crashed every single time I've used it. So we got my Ender 2 Pro process selected, and I'm going to go ahead and just assign random Z values. So I'm going to put one there, 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 and we'll do one more here. Okay. So right above the thing there. Okay. So we got our zones now. Now I can go and edit these different zones. Okay. Which is cool. Like this is a cool feature. So let's say I only want this only want to have, 5% infill. Now on version 4, your infill slider is right here, whether you're in the advanced or the full settings. I usually always have my stuff in the advanced. So now I either got to hit hide advanced and then change this. Okay. Or if I'm in the advanced menu already, I have to go to infill and manually punch in the number. So that's a really annoying feature. Why you guys change that, I have no idea. That makes no sense whatsoever. But I'm just going to set different infill percentages throughout these zones. We can also set different like layer heights. So, maybe I want it to be a 0.25 or whatever. So we're just putting random stuff in here just to show. So now if I want to print this, I select all these processes. I hit prepare to print. So you see I selected them over here, but when I go here again, it just ignores that. So now I have to go again, hit select none. Now I got to select all these. And if I hold down shift, so I click on zone 1, hold down shift, click zone 6. Oh, it doesn't actually select all the ones in between. I again have to manually click every single one. It's annoying. So I hit OK and it crashes every single time. Every single time, no matter what model I use, no matter what process I use, every single time the variable extrusion wizard just straight up crashes. So I cannot recommend Simplify3D anymore. If you have version 4.1.2, I would stay on version 4.1.2. That's what we're going to do. I cannot believe that it's been, since 2019, they've been talking about version 5. It is now at the end of 2022. It's almost 2023. It'll be 2023 in less than 2 weeks. And you guys launched this software that's been long awaited for, and people have been, including myself, been, saying, Simplify is good. Like, it works. Yes, it's older. Yes, it doesn't have all the cutting edge features. And you guys finally release a version, and you completely screw the pooch on it. So it's really hard to have any leg to stand on, and, I'm not a fanboy when it comes to stuff. I'm not going to sit here and simp for Simplify3D like some people are. The bottom line is right now, as the software sits, as I'm making this video at 9 p.m. Central Time on December 19th, 2022, it is buggier than hell. It doesn't have basic functions working, and for that reason, I'm out. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy printing.